Hi guys, it's been a while, but here we are once again with a replay of Cossacks 2 Battle for Europe, of a match I just played. My name is Lancer in this game, the red player. I play for Austria in this game. It's an interesting desert map, and my opponent is Suge. He plays for France in this match. He's the blue player. So let's go. Both players have built their town centers, which is no big surprise. I did go for the barracks as the next building, and I'm training the Landwehr unit right now, which is the cheapest unit you can train. But it's also very weak. But as a quick start unit, it's very suitable. And let's take a look what's Suge doing. He has built a barracks here, right next to the neutral food village. So he's deciding to build a barracks pretty near in the center, which is kind of risky, but he decides also to build a blockhouse right next to the barracks. So I think it's okay, because the blockhouse obviously prevents me from just rushing to his barracks and stopping his troop production, because the blockhouse would kill my troops. So he was able to capture the food village with his fusiliers, and I was able meanwhile with my Landwehr unit to capture that neutral gold village. Let's take a quick look on my economy. I've built the academy, I have built the stables, I'm now training Uhlans. So, mounted Uhlans. They cost wood and food, which is very good on this map because iron is very rare. So I decided to go for the mounted Uhlans, which only can fight with lances. And now Suge is lining up his Fusilier squad right in front of my Landwehr unit, which is sitting here in square formation and has a stand ground bonus due to that, +5 in melee damage. And my next unit is ready, the Fusiliers, which are much stronger in melee combat, and they are attacking the Fusilier squad of France from the side. Fusiliers were shooting the Fusiliers of France, of Suge. The Landwehr responded to that and demoralized the French Fusiliers a little bit, and the Austrian Fusiliers of mine are chasing the French Fusiliers now, but I saw that there's a blockhouse, so I decided to stop my troops there. I've also reached my original target, which was to capture this food village. And meanwhile, I was also able to capture that food village on the right bottom of the map. But I'm getting a visit, so to say, from the French Fusiliers, which are trying to get my Austrian Fusiliers out of this village. Both units were exchanging volley fire, I thought. No, only the French were shooting. But now the Austrian Fusiliers are also shooting. But I think the French Fusiliers had the upper hand, or has the upper hand. So I decided to rescue, to save my Austrian Fusiliers and send them down the road here. Meanwhile, my Austrian mounted Uhlans were arriving and are now picking up on the French Fusiliers, but they are in square formation, so it's not so easy to rout them. They are getting supported by the Fusiliers of mine, which I commanded them to shoot, and that's why I was luckily able to make the French Fusiliers flee and hold that food village. But bad news, the next French Fusilier squad is just there, and I have to reload with my Austrian Fusiliers, so it's not certain if I will be able to hold the food village any longer. The French Fusiliers were shooting and made the Austrian Fusiliers panic, and also the Fusiliers were victorious against the Uhlans of mine. So that's not the best outcome for my troops. And we are switching to this neutral iron village. Fight develops here, obviously, because two enemy units are facing each other. Meanwhile, I built a blockhouse here in the center to protect that food village, and also this way which leads to my homeland. And here you can see I stopped the troop production, I think. No, I didn't. But I've reached the population limit. Here fight, Fusiliers against Fusiliers again. My Fusiliers were in line. Both units exchanged volley fire. Suge is heading back to his food village. And I let my troops reload. Suge is also trying to capture this iron village. And there's also a fight for the coal village on the top. Landwehr against Fusiliers. Now we are switching back to the iron village. I think I have the upper hand with my Fusiliers. The morale is much better. And I'm able to rout the French Fusiliers and capture that iron village. The blockhouse in the center is successfully built. Now the French Fusiliers will be able to capture that food village. And I'm trying to recapture that food village, so a lot of things are happening. 2 Fusilier squads on my side, 1 Fusilier squad on Suge side, and we have also cavalry. I was shooting with my Fusiliers, and Suge has to give up at that point. At least that food village, which I'm able to recapture. And now the next fight develops. On the top, 2 units of mine against 1 of Suge. So mostly it's about concentrating your troops on the right spot in order to have situations where you can overwhelm the enemy in a numerical advantage. The civil police of the coal village is shooting against my Fusilier squad, but it's not that big of a deal because they're only 30 men and they only demoralized my troops a little bit. Now my Uhlans have arrived, and the Uhlans also of Suge are arriving. So let's see how this fight will turn out. The second Uhlan squad of mine has arrived. Now we can see French Fusiliers marching on the road towards this point. And now you can see my Uhlans attacking the French Fusiliers, which are standing in line and standing their ground from the side, but not any longer because the salvo of the Austrian Fusiliers sent them home. Now you can see me training grenadiers. I've finally built the palace. No, I don't have built the palace. Because now I'm building the palace. Okay, because grenadiers are cost gold, 2 gold for each soldier. So it's good to build the palace because it provides you with extra gold income. And there you could see me sacrificing my Uhlans, so to say, against the French Fusiliers. which were heading to my barracks, and I couldn't let that happen because that is probably the least thing you want, that the enemy can disturb your troop production. And luckily I was able to make them flee. So my plan now, I think, is to go this way on the top of the map in order to attack his iron village. And when my first grenadier unit will be up, I wanted to go to the center in order to attack his blockhouse or his barracks. But you can also see this won't be easy because he has already trained the grenadier unit. And I have reached my population limit. But now I have built the second town center, which increases the population limit. And here on the top of the map, I'm trying to make my plan work. But bad news for me is that he's trying to build a blockhouse, which would prevent my advance. So I'm trying to kill the sappers, which are building the blockhouse with my Landwehr. But at that point, I realized they will be able to build the blockhouse in time. So I decide to back up with my troops to retreat with my Fusilier squad here. So my plan has failed. And I have to reconsider my strategy. So now I'm rerouting my units to the center, where Suge is already making some damage, namely to my blockhouse, which he just destroyed with his grenadiers. But luckily, also a grenadier unit of mine is arriving in the center, and a big fight will develop because also my troops on the bottom of the maps are sent to the center. So this could be decisive. A lot of infantry and cavalry units are gathering in the center. Suge is attacking with his grenadiers. They're in line and shooting and throwing grenades onto the Fusilier squad, which can still hold their ground. And now it's all about maneuvering and finding the right moment to shoot. My grenadiers are advancing, shooting. I'm now sending in my Uhlans. Suge is doing the same, of course. A big fight. My Fusilier squad attacking from the side, which was a good move, I think. But now they don't have any stamina left. I have to take a defensive position. There's also another Fusilier unit of mine, and I think it looks pretty good, but it's not that certain. You can see here I have lost many horses. But I think in the end, my Uhlans, together with the infantry, will be victorious. Meanwhile, Suge is, of course, building more troops in order to try throwing me out of this spot and out of his foot village, which still belongs to him because of the chasseur unit, I think. Now the next Uhlans squad of mine is sent to the center, of course. We are switching back to the battle action. So my plan now is to destroy his blockhouse with grenadiers and then destroy his barracks. That would be decisive, I think, if I could make a breakthrough there. Let's watch that, if that will work. So my grenadier squad is advancing, and is going to the blockhouse in order to throw grenades. Blockhouse is destroyed. We have a French grenadier squad here sitting in the food village. The Uhlans of mine are attacking his troop production. Uhlan squad of him is arriving, entering the fight, but I think the Austrian Uhlans are too many. Usually a squad of mine is following the French grenadiers, with that grenadier unit I have to be cautious because they were demoralized pretty much, but the game has ended. Suge had to give up. The superior forces of mine had the upper hand in the end, but it was very close and action-packed game. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Goodbye and see you.